and welcome and thank you for tuning into Mirror Now. I'm Samia Kapoor and I'm in conversation with actor, director par excellence, Deepti Naval here with me. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us here at Mirror Now. We are, of course, here to speak to your upcoming movie, as we can read, Mother Teresa and Me. My first question that I will begin with is, of course, why did you choose to star in this movie? What was the emotional connection that you felt for the role that you are portraying? And why do you think this movie is going to be relevant in today's day and age?
I loved the script when I read it. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe Mother Teresa, it's going to be about Mother Teresa's life. So somebody's making a film about Mother Teresa. But when I read the script, it turned out to be different. You know, it's Mother Teresa vis-a-vis Kavita, the young girl played by Banita. It's very interesting. It's very layered. It's got 2-3 tracks, you know, happening parallel, and mostly inner world, you know. Yeah. So I thought it's a very interesting script I don't have a very big part in it, but whatever there is, I felt for this character, Dipali. So if I could feel for a character, that gives me enough reason to say yes, I'll do it. And I wanted to be part of this kind of film. And the DOP is also a woman. She's a Japanese woman.
Wow.
Called Kiko. So I loved her visuals. I loved the ambience she created on the set, the lighting. I mean, it's a treat.
So you can tell us a little bit about what the movie is about. Is it about the journey of a woman in contrast to love and faith, where Mother Teresa has been seen in her early days of working for missionaries of charity? Could you just give us a brief overview?
I think the film questions, the film is about Mother Teresa going through her own doubts and fears and sticking to what she believes in. But of course, we see the vulnerable side of her. We see the humane side. We see the real woman behind the image. You know, we see that she's a woman. She has her, you know, her insecurities. She has her doubts. She questions God. You know, she does. She has. Those are very interesting aspects of Mother Teresa which have not been dealt with except for in this film. I thought that was very interesting, you know, as a screenplay.
Ma'am, you have had a deep-rooted connection with Bengal cinema in a sense. Did you ever get a chance to meet Mother Teresa? How did you see her work when you were working throughout your life?
She has been a very inspiring figure. We've lived in the times when Mother Teresa, you know, lived and worked and inspired everyone. And now it's the trend to question people, question, you know, whether they intended to do what was the intention, you know, to kind of criticize, kind of break the myth, whatever. But this doesn't go into areas which are either religious or, you know, it deals with very fine, deeply felt emotions. And like I said, you know, we understand what her self-doubt was. We understand through the film how she had to struggle to keep doing what she believed in doing.
She almost fought the system to be able to work for the people.
Yes, she fought the system. She never gave up. She didn't give up. You know, it's so easy to dismantle somebody's dream and to, you know, she never gave up. And that's her inner strength really comes through.
But ma'am, journey of a woman like you were mentioning, you yourself have had such a prolific journey, not just as an actor, director, you are an author, painter, photographer. I remember coming across one of your paintings which is about a pregnant nun, which is termed as Contradiction. if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
If you could tell us a little about it, because I also believe in your book you make a mention about Amritsar as Ambarshar, as one of your nuns would be saying it. If you could just delve a little into it and give us an insight.
The pregnant nun, of course, is in an image which was created out of my own conflict. I was going through a phase where I wanted to just give up everything because things were not happening right. I just wanted to move away from everything that was material, whether it was ambition, personal life, relationships, whatever. I just wanted to give up everything and just go away, you know. And at the same time, I wanted to start all over again. I wanted to give life a fair chance and say, well, should I start? Should I believe again in love? Should I, you know? So the conflict was tearing me apart, you know, two opposite sides. It was pulling me with the same intensity. Wanting to live a full life, which is the pregnancy, signifies that, and nunhood says, give it all up, you know, just go, just, you know, take on a spiritual path and see what it has for you. Maybe that's your, you know, journey. But I chose to give it another chance, give life another chance.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah, but that conflict, that's the contradiction. Also, it's called contradiction because it is, I found myself breaking my self-image. You know, there's a self-image a person has, and when that shatters, you shatter it yourself, of course. But when you're appalled by it, that, oh, I thought I was this kind of a person. How come? So that came out in the form of a pregnant nun. It was not about a nun getting herself pregnant by going behind the bushes. No, not at all. There was the thought behind it was much deeper.
Your own personal conflict.
Much, yes.
So, ma'am, we've seen you over the years. You've worked in the movies, and now you've managed to even bridge the transition into the OTT platforms. How do you see the medium changing and thereby the work changing in the industry? And you have managed to adapt to it, and that is so beautifully done by you.
Yeah, it's the change is very healthy, I must say. I think, I mean, a lot of there's so much work for actors, you know, who would otherwise take years of struggling and really not getting anywhere. It has given a platform for so much of talent, and I think that's amazing, you know, because पहले कोई फिल्म जो बनती है, कुछ लोग ही बार-बार repeat करके they kept getting the work, and there are so many other people who are full of talent.
Absolutely.
They never had a platform. They couldn't showcase, you know, their work. So the change that the industry is going through, has gone through.
You think it was needed?
Yes, very much. I love the OTT platforms, you know, except the fact that, you know, in terms of, because there's no censorship, so there's nobody stopping you from using whatever language, but that's the only thing that bothers somebody like me. But otherwise, yes, it's very healthy. It's a great phase to be.
Now, my last question to you would now be, because I'm getting gestured from across the room to wrap up the interview as soon as possible, but how do you see the woman today, ma'am? The portrayal of women in today's society, you see the trial and tribulations that she has been subjected to, or do you think this is a new age woman? Because we do see cases of how women are being subjected to, like I would want to bring up Bilkis Bano, if you followed the case at all. You know, how the rapists have been put on parole and have been sent out on, bail. Do you think there is a need for the society to wake up to the modern woman's need for empowerment?
Yes, I think it's a very strange time, actually. I see it as, you know, this is the time when women are feeling empowered. They are doing things that will empower them. They are taking those measures and you know, letting their voice be heard. But at the same time, they are being victimized, and there's so much of violence against women, which is hit an all-time high. So it's a contradiction in in the society. It's very unnerving, because on one side, the woman is going up ahead and achieving what she dreams of achieving.
It's a cusp.
Yeah, and at the same time, very time, so much violence against women. So it's, I think the society needs to really relook at so many things, so many aspects, why such a thing is happening. I think the attitude, the male attitude towards women, should change.
Ma'am, you say it through your work and through your art, and I leave it at that for the moment, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking to us and taking out time for talking to Mirror Now. Well, that was Deepti Naval in conversation with Mirror Now over here for the upcoming movie that is set to release on 5th May, Mother Teresa and Me. Hello and welcome. I'm Samir Kapoor, and I'm in conversation with the cast and the director of Mother Teresa and Me. Thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now. I will first go across to the director, Kamal Musaleh, here with me.
Hello.
I would like to know what exactly stirred you to come up with a theme, a movie like Mother Teresa and Me. Why did you feel the need to tell this story?
Well, because it is important today to have some film that tells us about how to share and how to give. And also because of my background, because I have been meeting many poor people and many dying people in different countries, like in India as well, and Latin America. And I thought it was a very good idea to have some ways to use this emotion in this film. But the film original idea of Mother Teresa was brought to me by Jacqueline, the actress.
Also, Jacqueline Fritchie Cornaz, if I'm getting your name right, you are playing the main character over here, the protagonist, as Mother Teresa yourself. Take us through, where did you have to try and work on building a character personally? Did you study her work for the destitute people and children at large? Her struggle, for that matter, it did not come easy. And finally, where does the Missionary of Charity stand today?
Well, there are many aspects, of course, if you dive into a character like that. And it was a huge challenge, but also a great joy to kind of, dive in all different angles. First of all, of course, we read a lot of books. We read these letters, which were published in 2007. I was working with the sisters in at the Shishu Bhavan in Calcutta. I visited the family in Skopje. I received this cross, which I was wearing at my sari from the family. I was in a monastery in the center of Switzerland. There are so many angles, and I, of course, prepared all the different emotions and energies to kind of build up a character which shows the woman and the human being behind the saint, because that was important to us in the film.
It's the journey of Mother Teresa that you have portrayed in the movie, perhaps in the early years of her struggle of setting up the Missionaries of Charity. Did you feel the need to tell the story because you feel somewhere the criticism looms large over the kind of work that she's done that is now seen and taken with a pinch of salt on several occasions? Do you feel that that is what you wanted to put rest to?
I think the first goal was really to show that this was a woman with an extraordinary strength and vision and persistence, and but she was vulnerable, and she is someone like us, and I think that inspires people around the world to really believe in that we can change things as individuals, and that we can stuck with our goals even in times of troubles and doubts. And yeah, I think that's inspiring, and that's important in our world, which is full of war and conflicts, and we should, kind of practice this love in action again.
Let me also go across to Banita Sandhu, who's also playing a very important character in the movie Mother Teresa and Me. Tell me what exactly drew you to this movie and why did you decide to be a part of this movie?
I think it's so refreshing to read a script that has so much depth, so many layers, especially for female characters. It was a no-brainer, really. It was just an amazing read, and I was just so excited to be a part of this movie.
Can you tell us a little about your character, the role that you're playing in the movie as Kavita?
Kavita is a young woman. She's a professional violin player. She's living in London with her family. Something happens at the beginning of the movie which she finds herself in a kind of difficult situation, one which at that time she's not really ready to emotionally work out, but due course of the film we kind of see her progression and her journey with that, with coming to terms with loving herself, accepting herself, and I think also her discovery of Mother Teresa along the way helps her with that journey of self-love.
But Mr. Kamal, do you think that in today's day and age, when everything is on the OTT platform and the medium of the cinema has changed for that matter, do you think that there is a need to bring this movie across, or do you feel that the commercial success of the movie is also what matters?
Well, I think, it is a different experience when you are in a theater. For instance, a film like Mother Teresa and Me puts you into a deeper state than if you watch that on an OTT platform. So I think it's first the experience. Then after, the monetary aspect of it is not secondary, but it's another thing. It's not the same question. Of course, some films do make money, some don't, but it's always, since the invention of cinema, we never know what makes money really, usually. Yeah. So.
But it's important that this film makes money because all the proceeds are going to charity.
That's very important. If you can tell us a little more about it, that how are you going to be either using the proceeds for the children's education or the other charitable work, if you could elaborate on that.
I would love to tell you about that because it was me who actually inspired and initiated this film. I was always interested in working and kind of transmitting a mission and sorry, not a mission, a message. And I was interested in justice in our world and creating a better world through my work and my life. And when I saw the street children the first time, I just felt that I have to do something for children. So I visited Bollywood at that time, which was very exciting. And in one of the studios, there was this painting on Mother Teresa. And I asked this producer, have you ever thought of making a film about this passionate woman who kind of, had so much courage in her life? And we then, he didn't find the money here in India, so Richard, my husband, and myself, we created the Zaria Foundation. We found Kamal, who did a wonderful job on writing the script, and then as a director, it was fantastic to work with Kamal. And actually, the whole budget of the production was given by donation, and the revenues go directly to support children, poorest children in education and healthcare, starting here in India, where Mother Teresa started her work.
But I have to ask you, how did you convince yourself? What was the preparation, if any challenges that you faced to step into those large shoes to portray Mother Teresa?
Yeah, I think it was a huge challenge, but also a wonderful journey. I learned Bengali a little bit. I learned the Albanian accent in the English language. I learned a lot of different things to really get into those energies. And it's just wonderful to grow as a personality and as an actor through challenges. But of course, I needed some courage in the beginning, and it helped me that we really wanted to show this woman behind the saint. That was really a wonderful journey.
Oh, wow, that's great to hear that. And also, Banita, I'll have to ask you, you started your career with a movie that wasn't really the mainstream cinema per se. You started with October, and now, of course, you're doing Mother Teresa and Me. Do you fear being compartmentalized, or do you think the industry is not prepared for a talent like yours?
Oh, I don't know about the latter. I think there are a lot of talented people in this industry, and I think it's I think it is difficult to find your place. But also once you do find that place, I know the minute I do, I want to move out of that space and try something new. I just love doing movies that I would want to watch. So I've been very blessed to have received really lovely scripts, to work with great directors like Kamal Sir. So I'm very happy in the space I'm in right now.
And I'll take a question across to Kamal Sir also. How did you find Deepti Naval in the scheme of things? How did you reach out to her? Because she's known to tell humane stories. And of course, she looks like, fits like a glove for the movie. So how did you reach out to her for the character?
Yeah, that's right. No, we had done casting with a casting director from London, so there was a few actresses from India that I could imagine for the role, and Deepti was as you say, fit like a glove. I thought it was perfect, and also her humanity, her character, also was very important for understanding, as Banita was saying, that this is a film, but that goes a little bit also. Beyond the film, as Jacqueline explained in the beginning, that we have everybody who buys a ticket also gives a little bit of money for children in health education. But to come back to your question, yeah, Deepti Naval was the perfect glove for that.
Well, I'll try to wrap this interview at that note. Thank you so much. A pleasure speaking to you. I'm getting your name right, Jacqueline Fritchie Kornas and Kamal Musaleh and Banita Sandhu. We wish you all the best. And the movie is with a cause over here, and they're going to be sending across all the proceeds of the movie for charitable causes. Mother Teresa and Me set to release on 5th May.